Look, I was just checking. I was just checking. Literally nothing moved. I will show you right now. It's at 1,300. Alright? I wanted to check the time, and because of that, it just went away. It turned off, alright? My fault. My fault. Okay? I promise you I did not change anything. I promise you I did not change anything. So, dang it, I'm gonna have to edit this now. You know how I might have to split this up into two parts because my editor crashes with just a 17-minute video. The pop one, it crashes in the or just that. So I might have to continue on this just in case. I'm gonna try, but if you see two parts of this, you know why. Alright, let's continue. 1,301, 1,302, 1,303, 1,304, 1,305, 1,306, 1,307, 1,308, 1,309, 1,310, 1,311, 1,312, 1,313, 1,314, 1,315, 1,316, 1,317, 1,318, 1,319, 1,320, 1,321, 1,322, 1,323, 1,030, 324, 1,325, 1,326, 1,327, 1,328, 1,329, 1,330, 1,331, 1,333, 1,334, 1,334, 1,335, 1,336, 1,337, 1,338, 1,339, 1,340, 1,341, 1,342, 1,343, 1,344, 1,345, 1,346, 1,347, 1,348, 1,349, 1,400, 1,001, 1,350, 1,351, 1,352, 1,353, 1,354, 100,000, 1,135, 1,356, 1,357, 1,358, 1,359, 1,360, 1,360, 1,061, 1,362, 1,363, 1,364, 1,365, 1,366, 1,367, 1,366, 68, 1,369, 1,370, 1,371, 1,372, 1,373, 1,374, 1,375, 1,376, 1,377, 1,378, 1,379, 1,380. 1,381, 1,382, 1,383, 1,384, 1,385, 1,386, 1,387, 1,388, 1,389, 1,390. 100,000, 1,391, 1,900, 1,392, 1,393, 1,900, 1,394, 1,395, 1,396, 1,397, 1,396, 98, 1,399, 1,400. Nearly 2/3 of the way there. Wait, no. Nearly 3/4 of the way there. That's even better. 1,401, 1,402, 1,403, 1,404, 1,405, 1,406, 1,407, 1,408, 1,410, 1,411, 1,412, 1,413, 1,413, 1,413, 14, 1,415, 1,415, 1,416, 1,417, 1,418, 1,419, 1,420, 1,421, 1,432, 22, 1,423, 1,424, 1,425. Huh. Sorry for that. 1,426, 1,427, 1,428, 1,429, 1,430, 1,431, 1,432, 1,433, 1,444, 1,445, 100, oh shoot, 1,434, 1,435, my bad, not 44. 1,436, 1,437, 1,438, 1,439, 1,440, 1,441, 1,442, 1,443, 1,444, 1,445, 1,456, 1,446, 1,448, 1,449, 1,450, 1,451, 1,452, 1,453, 1,454, 1,455, 1,456, 1,457, 1,458, 1,459, 1,460, 1,461, 1,462, 1,463, 1,464, 1,465, 1,466, 1,467, 1,467, 68, 1,469, 1,470, 1,471, 1,472, 1,473. My friend called. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and I did take some time off a little. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Also, I got a drink. I'm really thirsty. I'm sorry. He called and cut the video, and I know y'all are gonna say that. Look, it literally cut off because if this really does get uploaded and it shows everything, it literally, like, right when the video ended, it was at that. So I have not, like, done anything. Okay, wait, hold on, let's see if you can see this. Okay, oh yeah, sorry, it's really small. Look, right now it's 2:19. Okay, it's 2:19. If at any point in time this video cuts off, or by anything, I will show the time. So I will show that I'm not doing anything. All right. Cheers. Now let's continue on. 1,487, 1,488, 1,489, 1,490, 1,491, 1,492, 1,493, 1,494, 1,495, 1,496, 1,497, 1,498, 1,499, 1,500, 1,500. All right, 3/4 of the way there. 1,501, 1,502, 1,503, 1,504, 1,505, 1,506, 1,507, 1,508, 1,509, 1,510, 1,512, 11, 1,512, 1,513, 1,514, 1,514, 15, 1,516, 1,517, 1,518, 1,519, 1,520, 1,521, 1,522, 1,523, 1,524, 1,525, 1,526, 1,528, 7, 1528, 1529, 1530, 1531, 1532, 1533, 1534, 1535, 1536, 1537, 1538, 1539, 1540, 1541, 1542, 1543, 1544, 1545, 1546, 1547, 1548, 1549, 1550, 1551, 1552, 1553, 1554, 1555, 1556, 1557, 1558, 1559, 1560, 1561, 1562, 1563, 1564, 1565, 1566, 1567, 1568, 1569, 1570, 1571, 1572, 1573, 1574, 1575, 1576, 1577, 1578, 1579, 1580. 1581, 1582, 1583, 1584, 1585, 1586, 1587, 1588, 1589, 1590. 1591, 1592, 1593, 1594, 1595, 1596, 1597, 1598, 1599, 1600, 1600, 1601, 1602, 1603, 1604, 1605, 1606, 1607, 1608, 1609, 1610, 1611, 1612, 1613, 1614, 1615, 1616, 1617, 1618, 1616, 619, 1620, 1621, 1622, 1623, 1624, 1625, 1626, 1627, 1628, 1629, 1630, 1631, 1632, 1633, 1634, 1635, 1600. 1636, 1637, 1638, 1639, 1640, 1641, 1642, 1643, 1644, 1645, 1646, 1647, 1648, 1649, 1650, 1651, 1652, 1653, 1654, 1655, 1656, 1657, 1658, 1659, 1660, 1661, 1662, 1663, 1664, 1665, 1666, 1667, 1668, 1669, 1670, 1671, 1672, 1673, 1674, 1675, 1676, 1677, 1678, 1679, 1680, 1681, 1682, 1683, 1684, 1685, 1686, 1687, 1688, 1689, 1690, 1691, 1692, 1693, 1694, 1695, 1696, 1698, 1699, 1700, 1701, 1702, 1703, 1704, 1705, 1706, 1778, 1707, 1708, 1709, 1709, 1710, 1711, 1712, 1713, 1714, 1715, 1716, 1717, 1718, 1719, 1720, 1171, 1722, 1723, 1724, 1725, 1726, 1727, 1728, 1729, 1730, 1731, 1732, 1733, 1734, 1735, 1736, 1737, 1738, 1739, 1740, 1741, 1742, 1743, 1744, 1745, 1746, 1747, 1748, 1749, 1750, 1751, 1752, 1753, 1754, 1755, 1756, 1157, 1178, 1759, 1760, 1761, 1762, 1763, 1764, 1765, 1766, 1767, 1768, 1769, 1770, 1771, 1772, 1772. Oh my. I once again got cut off. It's 730. It's 2:31. Just to let you know. My brother needed me real quick. That's it. Alright? I'm tired of it. I gotta do this counting stuff at a better time. I'll do it next video. If it happens next video, I promise you this won't happen. Alright? Let's get it. Alright. 1772, 1773, 1774, 1775, 1776, 1777, 1778, 1779, 1780, 1781, 1782, 1783, 1784, 1785, 1786, 1788, 1788, 1789, 1790, 1791, 1792, 1793, 1794, 1795, 1796, 1797, 1798, 1799, 1800. Okay, 1881, 1808, 1808, 1802, 1803, 1804, 1885, 1806, 1807, 1808, 1809, 1810, 1811, 1812, 1813, 1814, 1815, 1816, 1817, 1818, 1819, 1820, 1821, 1822, 1823, 1824, 1825, 1826, 1827, 1828, 1829, 1830, 1831, 1832, 1833, 1834, 1835, 1836, 1837, 1838, 1839, 1840, 1841, 1842, 1843, 1844, 1845, 1846, 1847, 1848, 1849, 1850, 1851, 1852, 1880, 1853, 1854, 1855, 1856, 1857, 1858, 1859, 1860, 1861, 1862, 1863, 1864, 1865, 1866, 1867, 1680, 1868, 1869, 1870, 1871, 1872, 1873, 1874, 1875, 1876, 1877, 1878, 1879, 1880. 1881, 1882, 1883, 1884, 1885, 1886, 1887, 1888, 1889, 1890, 1891, 1892, 1893, 1894, 1895, 1896, 1897, 1898, 1899, 1900. And then games, boy. Let's do it. That's 100. 1901, 1902, 1903, 1904, 1905, 1906, 1907, 1908, 1909, 1910, 1912, 11, 1912, 1913, 1914, 1915, 1915, 16, 1917, 1918, 1919, 1920, 1921, 1922, 1100. 1923, 1924, 1925, 1926, 1927, 1928, 1929, 1930, 1931, 1932, 1933, 1934, 1300, 1935, 1936, 1937, 1938, 1938, 1939, 1940, 1941, 1942, 1943, 1944, 1945, 1946, 1947, 1500, 1947, 1948, 1949, 1950, 1951, 1952, 1953, 1954, 1955, 1955, 6, 1957, 1958, 1959, 1960, 1961, 1962, 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 1970, 1971, 1972, 1973, 1974, 1975, 1976, 1977, 1978, 1978, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, 1990, 989, 1990, 1999, 1992, 1993, 1934, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1000, 1001, yeah, 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000. Nearly an hour of this. An hour of this. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I was gonna say please do leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Also held down to the affiliate link to buy a soft protector, or if you would like to get a mystery box, go down there below. My Instagram and Twitter are as well down there below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to recover my dying throat here, and yeah, 20 likes, I'll go to 3,000. Alright. See ya.